Hi guys, welcome along to another edition of the extension build series. In this episode we're going to be showing you the pod system that we used to install these lovely sleepers, and also the shuttering that we've been putting up to allow our tiler to put down these lovely tiles. Just a word of warning, there are people that are quite close together during this video, but this was actually filmed well before the social distancing measures were introduced. With that being said, enjoy this episode and I'll see you on the other side. So today what we're doing is getting these in. What we're doing is putting some planters in across here. So we're putting these holes in the ground with our tubes in, and these are basically going to act as pods which are going to sit along here. We're leveling them all out, and then we're going to fill them with concrete, and a threaded bar is going to sit up the middle. So then once this has all gone off, we know these are bang on level all the way across, so we can literally sit our sleepers straight on top of here, and then we'll be able to bolt through to the back of the sleeper and make sure everything is held in nice and tight. And then that will make really nice planters then that are going to travel all the way around the perimeter here, and also across here and down there. We've also got some more stuff going on at the front. We're basically taking up all these old pavers up here. So this area will be dug out completely, we'll re-hardcore it, and then the pavers will be reinstated out the front, and then the slabs that we're putting down at the back would actually start from around about here, carry all the way through, right through into the garden, and obviously they'll marry through with the ones in the kitchen because they are the same tile. So they are these tiles here, which are exactly the same as the ones inside, but they just have a different texture on them. The texture's slightly more rough than the ones inside, which means that when they're wet, you won't slip over on them, because obviously that's going to be one of the issues with having tiles outside, especially in sunny old England. So once we put all these pods in, we're going to then finish off with our shuttering. So we've got to finish this bit of shuttering here, and we've also got a shutter around here, and we need to run some shuttering up the back of this, because where this is here, there's actually going to be a step tile, which is just there. So the step tile is going to come across here and then down there. So the nose of the tile will finish just over the lip of this ACO. So we need to put some shuttering up here, and then this area will be mass filled with concrete, ready to take the tiles. Then there'll be some LED strips which run underneath the side here, all the way across there as well, under that planter there. And we're going to build a nice barbecue here for the clients as well. And also we're going to have some lighting. There's going to be a nice net light which is going to run across here to give some really nice mood lighting during the evenings. So now Ricky's decided to make loads of noise, I will leave it at that. So as Rick's taking so long to dig this hole, to be fair to him, he is on the footing of this garden wall, so he's having to chip a bit of it away using this breaker. As you can see, he's on his hands and knees, scratching in the dirt. It's dedication, that is, mate. But anyway, in the time it took him to dig that little hole, I've dug this one out over here. Don't tell him, but mine was easy. So what we need to do now is get this bit of pipe set in here to the line, and using a laser level, I can see that I need to go down. I need to go down about 25 mils. So I'll get my mallet and basically give this a tap in. Good on level that way, good on level that way. Get my laser. That constant beat means that I'm there. So I'm within like a mil basically of the last one, which is exactly where we want. The cat's been in here. Rick just launched this in yesterday. Some nice little paw prints in there. Cat's leaving his mark. Right then, so I'll hold this. If you can just get this backfilled, mate, please. Cheers, Rick. Let's just have another final check with our laser level, just to make sure we're where we want to be. That's it, we're good. So using our device here, our laser level, which is connected to that over there, we now know that all these pods running around here are all level with each other. We've gauged that off the ACOs as well. We've given us 25 mil down from the ACOs because we want these planters to sit actually slightly below the astroturf, which is going to be going around here. So that way then we get a nice seamless finish, because the last thing you want to do is put these planters on top of your substrate here, because then all you're going to see is a gap underneath. So at least that way it seals it in nicely. So now what we've got to do is dig 2 more holes, get Rick to finish his one off eventually, and 1 more just past him, and then we're done and ready for concrete. Smile, Jack, you're on camera. Oh, look, he's spooning now under pressure. So we've got our line set up, as I mentioned before, and now it's time to put these bars in. So we've got a nut and a washer on there. That's setting our depth. So this section here will actually go into the ground in the hole. Then we've got to make sure the front of our bar basically sits against this and that it is also level. So we'll sit somewhere like that. That's pretty good. Let's move that over a smidge. We're just working our way down to the washer at the bottom. That's our guide, like I said. Make sure we're good on our line. Pretty good there, we're pretty level. Yeah, so now what we're gonna do is mass fill it with concrete up to the top and then make sure this is bang on true where we need it to be. Nice and plumb, and then we can leave that and move on to the next one. Right, drop that line down for us, mate. So what I'm doing is just tamping the surface down just to give us a nice flat edge. That's why it was really important that we got this top perfectly level. So now, when our sleeper comes along and sits on like that, it's going to be dead straight. We'll use these bars then to sit the sleepers up to the back of. So the sleepers will sit against here. We will then bolt this into the sleeper. There we go. That will do nicely. So we'll leave that now to go off and we'll work our way around and do the rest of them. Boom! The next stage of their little life, which will be to support our sleepers. I'll just keep an eye on them because obviously as the concrete dries it will slightly shrink. As you can see, that one started to a bit there, so we just need to top them off because these will actually be the governing points for our sleepers to sit on as well, so I need to make sure they're nice and level with the top of the pipe. So while that's going off now, I'm going to get this rebar cut, which is here. I'm going to get that cut into sections and then get this propped in behind our shutter in. There's some more shutting going over there, so we'll do all that over there as well. The guys out the front are going to start digging out this pathway as well, so we'll get a camera set up there so you can watch them in action. So, today is the big day of the pour. We've got everything nicely prepared. All the windows and everything are all covered up because the last thing we want to do when this concrete gets poured is to splash up all these nice windows. This shuttering's been built in here for the step, like I've explained before. We put this sheet of plastic down here because once the concrete's poured in there and it's gone off, this ply is actually sat against this acco on the other side of it. So with all the force of the concrete against it, we'd never get that out otherwise. So by putting this on here, this actually acts as a bit of a barrier. So we'll literally be able to just unscrew these and then just slide this straight out. I've put additional bracing across here as well, just to make sure there's no flex and anything and everything's kept nice and square. This one's in as well. We've weighed this down so it's not going to lift. Cables for the socket on the side of the barbecue has been banded to the wall, so that's out of the way of the concrete. All the top of the acos have all been taped over as well, because obviously once the concrete's slopping around, we don't want it to go inside there because that will block it off and then obviously stop the drain from working. This one's in as well now, so this will be where the lean-to shed will actually go. So we've left that out until the last minute because obviously we don't want it to get knocked with people walking in and out. There's a stopcock down there, and then there's 2 manholes here, which obviously we've raised up higher than what they're going to need to be, and then we'll cut those flush and put our covers on the top there. Yeah, that's about it. We're just waiting now for the concrete guys to turn up. Poured all the way through here nicely. Our slot drain's just sticking up there, you see, so our tile will run up and finish flush with that. And then we've got all our shutter in. There we go. It's looking good. Everything's in place as we need it to be. Here's our little step down into here. So there's our drains down here as well. There's the step tile. This will be what it will look like. Our tile will come at the back here, and then there'll be an LED strip which fits in here as well. So yeah, it's looking pretty good. We've got sleepers to put in around here, and we've started doing these now. So here's our little pod system underneath. So you can see where they're situated there. And we just got these cut in this morning. So they're looking awesome. So now what we need to do, get all these fixed up, get them all bolted down, and then we're putting another piece which is going to sit on top flat like this, so it'll form like a T, and then there'll be an LED strip which goes underneath as well, and then obviously this will be for flowers all the way across here. So it's looking pretty good. Time for a time lapse. What we've done is we've got our plate, we've actually notched into here using a router, so this plate can sit in like so. So we've set our plate down here, so this is nice and flush with the top of this. Then we've drilled some holes in here, so what we're going to do is screw this into this sleeper here, and then underneath on the underside I'm going to put a nut here just to hold this plate, and then we'll put a nut and washer on the top. We'll then crank that down with this screwed in here. This will hold it down, then tie it onto the pods, yeah, which will make sure everything's nice and level. What we may also do as well is strap across the bottom here just to make sure there's never any twist in the timber. I mean, these are oak sleepers, so the chance of them actually twisting is pretty slim, but just bout and braces, we'll put a bit extra in there. We'll cut off this bolt here as low as possible to the nut, and then when we set our top timber on, all we need to do is just route out a small section here, so this will actually sit in the bottom of the top sleeper, and we'll also put a couple more screw holes here and here, which we can then screw through the bottom into the top of the sleeper, which will hold that down in place. So, hopefully you enjoyed that episode. If you did, give us a big thumbs up as usual. If you're already a subscriber, then make sure you've got your notifications turned on. And if you're not a subscriber yet, why not? Just press that button, subscribe to our channel, and you'll be notified every time new content comes out, which now, as of this week, I believe, we're going to be releasing 2 videos each week. So that's going to be on a Tuesday and a Friday of every week, we'll release a new video. If you have enjoyed this, and if you do enjoy our YouTube channel, head over to our social media pages. So we've got Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. Just search Builder A&E and you will find us over there. So until next time, stay safe and take care.